on trust. We're going to be talking about building your community and building trust using BeeKonnected. And in order to lead this discussion
Actually,
tonight,
Cheryl, if I can interrupt you, would you go ahead and restart that, because you started before the streaming audience saw it, but the recording didn't start. So, and
okay.
I'll put the replay. I'll cut that part out of the replay anyway.
All right. Welcome everybody tonight to our BeeKonnected session. And tonight the focus is on building trust, building your community, and using BeeKonnected to do that. And we're going to be talking about strategies, ideas, tips, do's and don'ts, and addressing any questions that you might have. And to lead us tonight, we have Elite 100 certified coach David Roberts, who has an abundant background in business, in networking, connecting people from the perspective of corporate leadership, and being a consultant on his own for several years. So Dave is going to lead this. He's known to connect the dots and help us to understand how things all fit together. And so with that, Dave, it's all yours.
All right. So as I always say, and BeeKonnected, what in the world? I want to get in here and really get your opinion. So thank you. We have Christine Dean here, who is known as the DFW networking diva. So she's got a great wealth of value that we're going to talk about here. And I'm going to be asking some questions. We're going to explore a few things. We're only going to go for 30 minutes. So obviously we won't complete every conversation, but I want to get some thoughts, see some applications, get some experience that each of us has had using the BeeKonnected platform and other platforms as well, in terms of this whole process of building community and building our impact on this platform, ultimately with the objective of getting to a relationship of trust like we have, the four of us here. And we have Zip Zipton here. He's also an Elite 100 coach, by the way. So is Christine, so is Cheryl. So we all have that title. And what we really are, we call ourselves Sherpas. So what that means is we don't have all the answers. We're learning every day, just like everybody else. And we may be a little further down the path. So we're trying to bring everybody else. We're trying to get everybody along with us. So the topic today is building your community and trust using BeeKonnected. BeeKonnected has a lot of features, functions, capabilities. We all know that. We talk about that. But the question is, what do you do with it? You know, what is it? What is the value of that when it comes to networking? I think Christine and I both, and Zip, we all have in-person networking experiences. We try to bring groups of people along. And that's essentially what we're trying to do here on a global basis in BeeKonnected. So I'd be interested, Christine, in your perspective here. I'm gonna actually, let me pop this up, because I'm gonna, just so that we all know what we're talking about. We talk about BeeKonnect. We might have some people, we are streaming this out, I believe, to some other platforms. So when we talk about BeeKonnected and the components of BeeKonnected we use to build community, let me just pop up one slide here that shows you the current 5 major components of BeeKonnected. So we're talking about doing video conferencing, having one-to-ones as well as one-to-many group meetings up to a large group of people. So that's one of the tools we can use to build community and trust. And I'd be interested in talking a little bit about strategies around when we're doing video conferencing, when we're doing meetings, doing those things, doing events. The other one is the ability to stream and broadcast to multiple places like we're doing here. And then also the broadcasting platform, creating unlimited groups, the whole ability to easily connect, and some of the strategies around your profile, your connection generator, how you do things, your ability to post daily, and how does that work, and what are strategies on the BeeKonnected platform to use that. And then we're moving into a phase here, probably within this first quarter, where we'll be able to actually offer value products, premium content, as we say, on the platform. So with that, Christine, when you look at it, and I'm going to come to you first, when you look at it, of all those components, we talk about networking and building community from your experience, which one do you think is the most important?
Ugh, David, that's a trick question, isn't it? Because they're all really important. It's all about how you use them. So when you can understand them and what the possibilities are, they kind of start expanding your mind like, oh, right. So there's so many different tools, video conferencing. We were talking about that. I use my room through BeeKonnected every day for video conferencing for business, right? Building those relationships with everybody I'm meeting today, every day, whether it's a discovery call or whether it's reconnecting with somebody that I've already connected with before to further those relationships. And what I really like is you can have a branded room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you have your name on yours. I have DFW Networking Diva on mine. So anytime somebody comes to my room, it's literally got my name, my business name's on it. So being able to reinforce your brand every time you have a meeting is kind of cool. Right. That right there is huge.
Well, and I would agree with you. I think that's one of the things that people see right out of the box is this isn't, you're not just in some generic place, right? You're in a place that looks and feels like your brand. And that in and of itself can build, number one, community, so that they know when you're there, when they're there, that they're with you. And the other part of that is not only that, but when they when they are there, you can have it set up to where it best serves your audience. And because you can customize it, you can actually change it. I realize here when I set this up, I forgot to the links are there, but I forgot to refresh the pictures. There's actually 3 components there. So when people are looking this on the replay, you'll see, get your biggest ROI, you'll see join my warrior networking group, and you'll see schedule a 1-to-1.
Right. Those opportunities to put in those clickable links that really meet your brand, who you are, and help build that trust. Right. So when it's got, visit my website, join BeeKonnected on, come hang out with me on BeeKonnected, whatever it is that you've got on there, you're really building what's going to appeal to your audience, right? So having that all ready to rock and roll, it just kind of feels like home, right? You can change the colors, you can change the background colors, you can add pictures, right? Those kind of things that you can't do in a lot of the meeting software out there. So you really get to create the atmosphere that you're trying to put apart, right? So I like to do things that are fun. So, if you want to have fun colors, if you want to have bright colors, if you want to have diamonds around the edges, whatever it is, right? You really get to let your personality shine. They get to feel like they're really interacting with the real you, whatever brand that is for you, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, it is important to, and that's kind of why a lot of times the people's first entry into this world of BeeKonnected is through this virtual platform. And so when you think about, okay, they come in here, they see the branding, they get a sense of who you are, they know you're not fake. One of the big selling points, or the big differentiators, I think, when it comes to BeeKonnected versus LinkedIn versus Facebook versus all the other social media platforms, is you don't have to be real to be on those platforms, right? I mean, you could be a bot, you can be somebody's assistant, right? They could delegate it. It could be a very important person and their profile might look real important. But until you're actually doing what we're doing here and meeting that
It
journey of
offers,
trust. Yeah.
it's a level of authenticity that I don't think you get necessarily on the other platforms. So
Yep.
the good and the bad, right? The good is, okay, those other platforms, you can automate things. That's nice. That's convenient. However, it's not real. You're not really building those relationships. It's my bot talking to your bot.
Yeah. And
So
yeah.
completely different.
Yeah. And that's why people still do. That's why Meetup exists, right? That's why there's still a lot of, and other platforms like that. I'm not saying they're the only ones that are actually still, people still in business especially with entrepreneurs, small business owners, maybe in the corporate structures, a whole ton of people that really aren't engaging with other partners or even with other clients. They're kind of behind the scenes, and they may also be on those platforms, and they may have the job to connect with people, but they're not the real people, right?
Right. And really, that says a lot, right? A lot of it is outbound communication, right? So you post on these other platforms and it's just outbound. We're not actually interacting. We just throw it up there, right? But we don't actually talk to anybody. I just, well, I'm supposed to post, so I do, right? So you don't get that engagement. You don't get that building of relationships, right? It's one
Yeah,
bot
and
talking to another bot.
Yeah,
It's
that
Cheryl, you were.
reminds me of one of the features that I've been really enjoying lately are the groups, because you do get that interchange, and people are very helpful in the groups. People are just positive and complimentary and offering information, offering tools. And there's just a lot of great interchange, and each group has a different focus. And people that can come together around that focus and contribute and help each other and collaborate.
I'm going to totally follow up on that, Cheryl, because you really hit the nail on the head there. When you think about people working together to collaborate, people on BeeKonnected are here to make relationships. Whereas some of the other platforms, I have a profile, it's like a billboard. It's just up there, it's a sign, it's a smiling face, and that's it. But that doesn't mean I actually want to talk to anybody. Right? They created a profile because someone told them they should, or because they have to, or because, well, they work here and so they have a profile, right? But they're not there saying, please connect with me. That's a whole different goal. When we're in BeeKonnected, people actually want to connect. That's why you're here. So when you reach out to somebody, it's not like, oh, please don't bother me, right? It's like, oh, you want to connect? Fantastic. Let's talk. Completely
Yeah,
different
and
vibe.
you guys are really going exactly where I really wanted to go here anyway in this discussion. So I appreciate you talking that way. And that is that following up, connecting with somebody, some of the things, little things about BeeKonnected and the groups that people don't understand is we're having a conversation here. And this, if you're in the audience here or you're one of us here talking, if we need to follow up or we're not even connected, maybe you know them, but you don't really, haven't really met them, haven't had a one-to-one, but they were really impressive. You go to a meeting and then now you can follow up with them and you can start this process of then coming back to their their room and begin that journey. So it creates that cycle, that upward development, right?
That's a great point, right? Because you can click on people and you can go to their profiles when you're in other meeting spaces, right? Unless they upload and put their contact information in chat, there's no way to get a hold of anybody. They're just random names that they may or may not be real people. They're just in there, right? I mean, you don't have necessarily a way to reach out to them. It's not intended to connect unless you choose to connect, right? Whereas BeeKonnected really had that whole thought process was brought into it when it was built, right? This was the whole point behind it, was for people to be able to connect. And so it's even built that way. So when you're in the chat and you can connect with other people, you can click on them and you can actually go and find their contact information and go talk to them.
Yeah, and that extends not only within the groups, but the other thing is that's also in the feed. So talk to me a little bit about using your perception. And there's not a right or wrong here, by the way. I'm not looking for a specific answer. Just how do you feel about the feed that we have where everybody can, I mean, we always tout the fact that everybody can see your post, what you put on your feed. It's not just throttled down to 2 or 3% of the people that you're connected to, but everybody gets to see it. So that's a good thing. We say that. But is it really? And if you're going to have that opportunity to connect with people, what from your perspective is the most important thing to do with the feed in addition to just being able to post and everybody see it?
You know, You say, in addition to just being able, no, it's not a just, it's a, oh my goodness. Because when I go online on other platforms and I see the same top 10, 20 people, I'm connected with 5,000, 6,000 plus people on each platform easily.
Mhm.
And I never see their stuff. Like ever. I have to go hunt them down and go find them and go look at what they posted, right? So there's no like I don't feel like I get to keep up with what's going on. And who gets to make that decision? I would like to see more people, but there's no button for me to check to do that, right? That's not an option. You don't even get that choice, right? You have to seriously work for it to actually talk to the people that you want to talk to. Here it's whoever posted most recent.
Mhm.
Gee, that is way too sensible. What do you mean? I love that, right? Whoever's up, whoever just posted, they're online, right? So you know who can respond, who you can talk to, and chances are they're going to see that a lot sooner.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think that's totally cool. Cheryl, what do you think about the feed as you're using? Because I know we're all processing these capabilities differently, and there are probably will develop over time best practices or our strategies for doing it, and maybe everybody has different strategies. I have some, but I don't want to just espouse everything I think. Cheryl, what do you think?
Well, one comment I'll make about the feed is that because BeeKonnected is such a close community, and I mean, it'll grow and we may lose some of that camaraderie that we've come to get used to now. But when I look at the feed, I know a lot of those people because we've interacted in groups or on calls. And so the cool thing about it is that I begin to get to know people's personalities by what they post in the feed. And then I can connect with them. If it's somebody that I haven't seen or heard from before, I
Mhm.
can easily find them and connect with them and have something in common or something that I've noticed about them. So the feed is a great way to discover new friends and to get to know old ones better.
Right. Whereas normally you would only see the people that maybe you were connected with, even though it would be the same 20 over and over again. Right. And you actually
Or
get to
the one
see posts from other people, right? So you get to make new friends. I've had people reach out to me that saw a post, about art was one of my businesses, right? And they said, "Oh, wow, I love art." And next thing you know, I have a new friend, right? So the options there, it seems much easier to find new friends.
Yeah, and I think that the AI from the platform was designed to align you but I want to stick with the feed for a second because I do want to talk about that aspect of it and how to make sure you're building that trust on the platform. One of the things is when you show up and you have the, let me say, opportunity to be on screen, whether it's meeting one to one with somebody or meeting in a group, and you have that opportunity, and I consider it an opportunity where you're kind of being invited up to the stage, right? Then you have that opportunity. You want to look like you want to look. First impressions. You want people to, uh, I have all my makeup the way I want it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't do makeup, but you have things kind of set, and you're doing it. You're not just off screen. A lot. There are people that are used to being on other platforms, and they want to be somewhat anonymous, and that's okay. They can be anonymous on those, but you're missing one of the big tools that we have here, and Christine mentioned it earlier, is the ability to truly be authentic and put yourself out there so that people know that you're real, that you're doing these things. So being on screen, being things. So I've seen some people that they're always, maybe their camera doesn't work. I don't know, maybe that thing, but a strategy, that's a bad strategy. That's really, you're losing so much on this platform by not showing up, even if you don't like the way you look that day. At least you're real. um, I want to talk a little bit about, before we end this, I want to talk about the profile, both the private and public profile. The private profile is what feeds the connection generator, which where you talk about who you really want to make sure, you want the AI to know that these people are aligned with you. You're going in the same direction. They're people that could be referral partners. They could people that have the same maybe target clients that you do, maybe not. They could even be doing the same thing, but you know what? We're all unique. What are your thoughts when you look at people's profiles? Because they're all over the map here on BeeKonnected. And we have new people coming on board. And by the way, if you're new here, don't take this as, hey, I'm beating you up, but I'm beating you up, because I'm saying get your public profile built out as well. Wouldn't you, Christine? You're an expert. I mean, you've got an awesome profile on LinkedIn, on other platforms. How important do you think that is on this platform?
It's really important regardless of what platform you are, because that's the first thing we see. It's like we say don't judge a book by a cover, but we do, or you need to see your cover. So you got to put something out there so we know who you are and we want to reach out. And I have to say the process of putting the profile, it wasn't difficult, but I was amazed at the thoughtfulness they put into it and the detail when trying to figure out what kinds of questions to ask, and like building out, like you mentioned about the connection generator, right? It wasn't just flimsy kind of ask 3 questions, boom, and you're done. It literally really wants you to think about who it is that you want to work with, who's your synergy partners, who your audience is, right? And you really had an opportunity to make a lot of selections on there. So the connection generator really can try and tag you up with people that really are who you're looking for.
Yeah, and that's so hard. If you think about it, and I tell people all the time, think about, because we get so much into our zombie, just doing things and doing the same things over and over and over again. And then if we're reasonably successful, or if we get something, the audience gets bigger. But still getting to the place where we are at today, or whether when you have a one-to-one, that's from the top of the funnel to the bottom. And you can get there with a click of a connection generator where it says, Christine is your peeps. And you go, who's Christine? Well, all of a sudden you've all that work, energy, time that you put into just getting to a place where you could do what we're doing right now, is having a face-to-face, virtual face-to-face. That's a lot, right?
Having something that kind of uses that AI to kind of help steer you in the right direction. Kind of like if you signed into some of these platforms, there's so many people on there. And how do you know where to start, right? You have to learn how to do all the searches. And this makes it just nice and easy to point you in the right direction so you know where to start and where to put your energy. Because time's the one thing we can't get back, right? So if you're spending your time trying to connect with people that really aren't good connections for you, you've kind of wasted a lot of time. So it really takes the guesswork out of it and really helps streamline that process, which is really valuable because it gets you that time back that you want.
Yeah, Cheryl, when you use, because I know you're in B2B marketing and you do some campaigns on LinkedIn for clients and you're searching, when you think about all of that, that's a pretty involved process, right? That sometimes they really have to hire an agency to help them kind of narrow that down. Is that not true?
I think there's a lot of work that goes into that. As a marketer myself, I know Sharon and I, we bond over that.
Yeah,
But I know
I think
with
yeah, I think she might
I
be
think she's
frozen.
frozen. Yeah. So really, when you look at one of the things I was thinking about earlier, and you mentioned marketing now, so now it's too late. Now you open that can of worms. One of my favorite features is in the post, there's an option where you can actually put a headline at the top if you want, and then a picture and then words. So it's set up like marketing magic. I'm just saying, you don't get to do that in all the platforms. So when you can put a headline, the picture, and what you wanted to put in, I'm like so excited. There's a spot for headlines.
Cheryl,
It may be a little thing,
did
but
you
it's
hear
fun.
my question? Now we have 2 of you here. But
I got disconnected, but apparently not. I'm still spinning down there.
There you
okay,
go.
there you go. Your other one went away. Your clone went away, so that's good. Hey, we have fun on this platform, we're pushing the envelope. We're pushing the limits here. We're streaming, we're doing a lot of stuff. So did you understand the question, or did you hear my
I
question?
didn't
My
hear the
question was
question.
really, when you talk about the energy and the time that, and Christine was saying the ease with which, the connection generator and some of the tools to where you can connect to the people you want to connect to, and how you can build out your profile, both your public and your private, so people could find you just by, looking at your profile, but also they find you through the connection generator. I'd ask the question because I know you do campaigns using LinkedIn with your clients and stuff like that. It's reasonably complex, right? I mean, to do that, a lot of companies hire agencies like Triad to do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do it right and you have a certain business presence that you want to represent, then there are certain techniques and ways of doing it. Yes. Yeah, talk about LinkedIn. I mean, when you talk about trust, the way that many of these social platforms are designed, they are designed for you to be spammed because you don't get that authentic connection with anybody. So what people do is they request a connection with you. And then if you accept, you can imagine that within 10 minutes, you're going to get a message from that person, and it's going to be a solicitation. And so it's almost like people don't even want to connect with anybody they don't already know, because you're opening yourself up to a barrage of spam, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a totally different approach to representing yourself and opening up yourself to relationships. And it really makes people, I think, really hesitant to open up to other people and to accept other connections and messages. So it's just designed in a much more authentic way. And because of the way it's designed, I think it lends itself to more trusting, authentic relationships.
Well, I'm looking at the clock and it's 2 minutes till 8. And I really I want people when they come onto this show, we're going to talk for 30 minutes and we'll maybe have more questions than answers, and we'll talk about some things. And hopefully this type of conversation or discussion will prompt you could reach out to Christine, you can reach out to Cheryl, you can reach out to myself, you can reach out to anybody else, because there's a lot of good shows. There's a lot of talented people here, and ask them questions, and then come back the next time we do this at 1:30 on Monday. We're going to be, Christine's going to do, some of her own shows and do some of these things. So is Cheryl. We're all going to do these things. So the intention isn't this to cover everything and you walk away knowing everything. It's really just thinking about some of these things. So if we think about, as we land the plane here, one thing relative to doing and using BeeKonnected, when you say somebody's just getting on the platform and we go through the orientation, we tell them to do a post, tell them to build out their profile, what would you say once you've connected with somebody? What's the most important thing that you think to do? And that's, again, not a right or wrong, just when you connect with somebody, Christine, what's the first thing you want to do?
I want to talk to them. I want to book an appointment and I want to get to know them. The whole beauty of BeeKonnected is those authentic relationships. And Cheryl did a great job explaining that, right? This is an opportunity when you see a connection request, you're like, yay, it's a real person. Not, yay, it's a bot that's about to spam me, right? It's a different attitude. And so I get excited when I have connection requests here. So I think it's connection friendly. So send those connection requests, connect with other people and make friends, get to know them.
Yeah, I like that. Cheryl, what are your thoughts there? In terms of you get a connection request.
Well, and also you can initiate a personal chat with that person as well. And when you send your connection request, obviously you can have comments as to why you wanted to connect. So you start that dialogue initially and then keep it going in the personal chat whenever you're not doing a one-on-one.
Yes, I mean, so you guys, we're all the interesting thing is here, we're all thinking the same way because my first thing is once somebody connects in my response, if I send them a connection request, that chat that you put in to say, I want to talk to you, I immediately put in there, hi, introduce myself and say, I want to get to know how I can serve you on your journey with BeeKonnected. And I have my virtual meeting room, visionwarrior.beekonnect.com/meeting. And I put it there. And I say, and you can schedule a one-to-one on the link on the lower left-hand corner, because I'm like Christine. I want to have that one-to-one. I want to get to know them. I want to know if you're my connection. The other thing is, and this is one that I think we've all got to work on, I know I do, is I've just hit 300 connections on BeeKonnected today. And I have only scored, if you will, 58 of those connections. I've given them that 5-star rating is very important, and it's becoming more important. So share when you do connect with somebody, and it might not be okay, you don't have any big action items to follow up on, but take a minute after you've had that interaction, unless you're not just jumping to the next meeting, and make a comment and give them a 5-star rating so that they know that you appreciate it, and they'll look at that, and that's a way of immediately showing gratitude and serving the community, because then people know Christine Dean is awesome, and here's why. Cheryl Roberts is awesome, and here's why. And you'll get, the more of those you get, the technical part of his connection generator looks for those star ratings and those things to determine who should be at the top of the list to refer to the next person. So you don't want to miss that out. Well, I really appreciate everybody being here. I know we just scratched the surface on this building trust and using the community. The more people we have on here with the more questions, the more interesting the dialogue will be. So for future ones, please show up and please bring your questions. We invite any coaches or anybody to let us know, and you can be be on the stage here and talk. But Christine and Cheryl and Zip, you were kind of quiet. I know you were kind of just listening in, but I appreciate you, brother, being here too. And I'm looking forward to it as we go forward. So thank you guys again. Have an awesome rest of your evening, and we'll see you back on the next BeeKonnected. What in the world?